if you are looking to become a nurse, whether it's an LPN, a registered nurse, I have 7 points or 7 things to think about before heading in that direction. Hey fam, welcome to my channel. So I just wanted to talk about reasons that if you are looking to become a nurse when just working in the healthcare field, these are some things that you should consider. So I have 7 points, 7 tips, or 7 things to think about before heading in that direction. Now, as for me, I personally knew that I wanted to work in the healthcare field. I didn't know if I wanted to become a doctor, didn't know if I wanted to become a pharmacist, or didn't know if I wanted to become a registered nurse. I graduated with my first degree in human biology and psychology, and then I went back, took a semester off and went back and decided that I wanted to become a nurse. So number 1, do you like helping people, especially when they are in a vulnerable state? So being a nurse, everyone knows you have to have a heart, a passion to help people. Nursing, that's just everything that you do. The profession is for caring, like you care. You're at the bedside, you're working very hard, saving people's lives, trying to catch certain things, doing assessments, passing meds, being there like for the person physically, emotionally, mentally, and even sometimes you're like a counselor, or a social worker, like you're figuring a lot of things out within a certain amount of time. So if you want to become a nurse, you must have to have a passion for it and also care for people. It's not about the money, because I'm telling you, if you're doing it just for the money, you are going to learn the hard way. It's not about the money. There are many things that you can do for money. For example, you can become a doctor, you can become a pharmacist, you can become a lawyer, you can become an engineer, you can become a millionaire many other ways. You can become a real estate agent, real estate investor. There are so many other things that you can do to make money. So if you are in it for money and not for caring people, I'm sorry to say, but nursing is not for you. So that's 1. Number 2, do you like the sciences? Like, for example, A&P, biology, chemistry, microbiology, things like that. So, I mean, if you are struggling in it, that is okay. Like, we all struggled in the sciences. I mean, for me anyways, I feel like my hardest class that I really struggled in was Orgo 2. Oh my gosh. Orgo 2 was legit horrible. Like, I thought I would hate physics, but organic chemistry number 2, I'm telling you, that was my struggle. I loved A&P, I loved biology, I liked physics. I liked it a lot, actually. I liked physics a lot. And I definitely, microbiology was okay. I think it was maybe my professor, because he was pretty, like, boring, and he was, well, I can tell you for one thing for sure, is he did have an accent, which wasn't bad, because, like, my parents have an accent, so it's not hard for me to understand people's accents, but, like, he was just, like, cutthroat, like, bland, like, he had no emotion when he was teaching or anything, so the class was boring for me. So, if you do like the sciences, it will be a plus for you. If you don't and you really still want to do nursing, that's okay. Like, they have tutors and things like that, but that's one thing to know, is that nursing, in order to get in the field, like the prerequisites, they have a lot of core science classes that you have to pass in order to continue to pursue the nursing program or to either get into a nursing program. That's 1. Number 3, do you like change and do you like to learn? In the nursing field, especially like working at a hospital, there are many protocols, many changes that go on in a certain amount of time. For a perfect example, like once this whole COVID thing happened, like there was changes every single day, learning new things, new systems. Some people change from like one system to another, like going from Cerna, or I think it's Cerna. I used to be 4, but Cerna to Epic, or going from like one new system or from another. Like it's just always change. Like I know for me, I love Epic. Like Epic for me is phenomenal. Like I can't explain, like I really like Epic, but like there's people who don't like Epic and have trouble with it. So like going from one medical record to another, that can be something. Or I know one major change that we had that was really difficult with learning. I don't know, honestly, and I don't really want to talk about that because that's not what I want to talk about. So but yeah, you have to be able to adjust to change and learning. Like you're always learning something new all the time in nursing, like all the time, period, point blank. Like you learn new protocols, you learn new ways of new medication administrations, or different types of medication administrations. Like I know for us, we went from like IV push mannitol to having now the bag, and we had to learn things like that. Or new medications when you're in a code, or where they're located, or certain things like that. You're learning new just new things every day. Like even with COVID, we learn new things every single day. So that's just something. If you think it's just like surface, where you're like, okay, I'm in nursing school and then I'm done. No, like you're in nursing school, you finish it, and then you build upon it and build upon it and build upon it, and just keep building until you retire, basically. So yeah, that's one. Number 4, do you like working in teams? Now, that doesn't mean if you're an introvert that you can't do nursing. Like, there are introvert nurses that I have met, and they're phenomenal in team working. It means like, can you work with teams? Because one, you're working with a multidisciplinary team. So what that is different levels in one, like different levels in a care team. So you have the doctor, you have the PA, you will have the pharmacist, you will have the social worker, you will have the nurse, you will have who else? There's just so many people within that team. You have the physical therapist, the occupational therapist, speech therapy. You have so many people on that team caring for one person. If you're not able to work with one of those people, or work with other people in general, then literally that's literally that B has been bugging me. Like, he's trying to get in my video. Like, for real? No. He's really been bugging me, so sorry about that. But anyways, back to what I was saying. If you want to work in if you can't work in multiple teams, or work in a team, see, that thing just threw me off. Okay, let's start over again. If you cannot work in teams, then you might try to, might want to consider another field to work in, because with nursing, you need to work in teams. It's just simple, point blank. Like, you're working, like I said, with them, and also you're working with the clin tech, you're working with many other nurses. There may be a code situation that happened, and you have to work with other people. So if you're not, just know that you would have to think about, are you able to work in teams? Number 5. Are you able to work long hours? Now, not all nursing jobs are working long hours, but as soon as you get out of nursing school, most likely, if it's not a nursing home, your first job will most likely be in the hospital setting. And when you're a new grad, you are going to work long, hard hours, because you're going to be training a lot so that you can practice on your own. And even after your year, like, working as a nurse, you're still going to be working long hours. That's just it. I mean, I know for me, when I was a new grad, I had to work for 40 hours. That was what I did because I signed a contract. I had to work 40 hours, and then after that, I was on call. And yeah, that's just that. And I was picking up overtime on top of that. So like, you know, for my job, in order to get off the on-call list, it goes by seniority. So I mean, you're gonna be working long hours, maybe 3 to 4, even more days a week. And they say it's 12 hours. It's technically more than 12 hours because you come in a little early, you get report, and then after that you give report at the end of your shift. So that sometimes can be a little bit over 12 hours, unless, like for me, you get lucky and at the end of your shift you have to call a rapid response because something happened to your patient. And that it's not just me, other nurses have it. It's like right at your shift, and even after you did your rounds and checked on your patient and everything, it happens. Sometimes you just have to stay behind. So if you are looking to become a nurse, specifically a bedside nurse, be prepared to work long hours. Okay? Number 6. Would you mind sacrificing your weekends and holidays? If you're looking to work as a nurse, especially a new grad, and starting your career, be prepared to sacrifice your weekends and holidays. As a new grad, for me, the first year of working as a nurse, I had to work every other weekend before going from every other weekend to every third weekend. So now I'm every third weekend, but it was a struggle trying to work every other weekend because it's just like I felt like I was always at work. Another thing is holidays. That you can never, you still have to work your holidays. So if you're working Christmas, then you don't have to work New Year's. Or if you're working, July 4th, then you don't have to work Memorial Day or Martin Luther King Day or things like that, those government holidays. Like, you just remember that, those, you have to consider having to work weekends and holidays. Yeah. And then, last but not least, number 7. I picked only 7 because 7 is my favorite number. So, would you be able to handle multiple tasks at once? Now, I don't mean that yes, as a nurse, you have to juggle a few things, like, say, for example, you have one patient. Let's start this. Okay, so say you have one patient, right, who you have to give meds to, do their assessment, but then you have your other patient who you're trying to discharge, and, transport is there, and you have to gather all the paperwork. You're trying to find the doctor because the paperwork is ready, but the doctor didn't sign it yet, so you're trying to make sure they get a hold of that. On top of it, your ClinTech or your PCA got the vitals for transport, and then the patient has high blood pressure. Their pressure is in the 200s or something, and transport is trying to let you know, okay, I don't know if the facility is going to take your patient, and you have to worry about that. On top of that, you still need to give meds to patient A and get their assessment in. So there will be multiple tasks that you would have to consider, or be prepared to do multiple tasks, or have to juggle a few things. And also sometimes you may have a patient who just passed away in room 1, and then say room 2 you have another patient who say just found out that their granddaughter just had a baby. So it's like you have to put on different faces sometimes in nursing, or have to juggle multiple tasks. So you go in the room, you're comforting the family of the one that they lost, but then the other one you have to say, oh hey, congratulations on your new grandbaby, so just to know that those are things to consider if you're looking to work or become a nurse. Work as a nurse, become a nurse. So I will repeat the 7 things that you can consider, or you need to consider, when wanting to become a nurse. Number 1, you have to like helping people, or you have to want to care for people. Number two, it's not major, but like just be prepared to take science classes if you don't like it, or like have somewhat kind of liking for sciences like A&P, biology, microbiology, chemistry, etc. Number three, you need to consider, or you need to like or prepare for change, and also prepare to continuously learn. Number four, you have to like working in teams, because you are going to be a part of a multidisciplinary team. Number five, you need to be able to work long hours, especially your first year of nursing. Number six, you would need to mind sacrificing your weekends and your holidays. And then last but not least, number seven, you will need to be able or take on multiple tasks or put on multiple faces while you're working. So yeah, I hope those 7 tips were helpful and useful to you. And yeah, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, like, share with your other nursing friends, or other people that you may know who are considering nursing and just want to know what are some things that they need to consider before applying or entering the nursing field. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Keep a lookout on my next video. You guys all have a blessed day, and I will see you next time. Bye.